And what's up, everyone? Is it off me? Yo, welcome everyone to the Fortheboys podcast. A podcast created for everyone to share, I guess, their stories and the struggle that comes with it. Also, a shout out to everyone that's watching on our Twitch page. Now we don't know the numbers, but it seems to be about a few hundreds there or thereabouts, like our stats. So shout out to our Twitch and also Facebook and YouTube. Thanks, fams, for joining us. I'm Teza.
I'm Sorky II. Whether you're joining us tonight or listening to audio podcast.
Hey, boys.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Are we live?
That's the one. That's the one. Hey, your seasoned guest, anyways. You were one of the first ones on. Help us propel the movements.
Man, I gotta say, man, the intro. Wow.
It's upgraded since the last time, me.
Even
our intro is always as
no
long
words.
as
Nah, keeping it real. That's and that was from the first episode to this episode. Keeping it real, shop boys.
Shadows.
Yeah. So like the brother said, we have Will's back. He's one of the, I guess, the OGs, originals from when we first started, helped us out, and now he's back to give us some feedback. Shout out to the chat for coming through again. Always, if you got any questions for us, yeah, by all means, throw it in the chat, and hopefully there are no toxic ones. But
Never.
Every week it changes. It's we have some good people, and then and some very, very good people.
Oh, yes.
But again, this is not this place where we're not professionals, so we don't give out the proper stats. We'll give our own stats majority of the time. And speaking of stats, welcome to our Mr. Wills Brown.
So, boys, what's going on? Where should we start?
Nothing much, bro. Before we move on, I would like to shout out to our sponsor at Mask Familiar. So at this time, again, I say this every week, it's important to wear masks. It's mandatory, whether you're going for a run, whether you're in bed, whether you're indoors, outdoors.
Everybody
wear a mask.
Hey, that's a statement, man.
Hey, when you're having a shower, by all means, man, wear that mask in the shower too, if you need it. But Mask Familiar, if you guys are after masks, I know level 4 is still in Auckland, North Island, and the rest of New Zealand. Hopefully, it's when we go down the level, we will get to send out we'll get to send those masks out there. Everyone's been inquiring about too. Yes. At Mask Familiar, support your local fams.
Support the show. Thank you for those who are putting in orders and are currently waiting to be shipped out. Thank you for the support.
Thank you to Helene, Alexo, your boy BNT, and StreamYard. What's up? Yeah, we'll just how's everything been on your side, Ous? for myself and Swanky. We've been at work, but now we're having you back. And if you don't know, I think maybe a quick introduction, and then we'll go into something a little more personal.
Yeah. So obviously, my name's William Brown, and I'm currently a manager at one of the residential boys' homes. And doing that for a while. Obviously, worked with Terry a few years back. And yeah, and still currently doing that mahi now. So and still enjoying it, like as if I just started it as well. Give a little intro.
It's you don't really hear that often, about people saying that you're still enjoying it after 10 plus years in that field. Because I know when I was there, I don't think I was the best for that role. That's why I'm still not there. So to have the brother here say he still enjoys it, and plus if he's Wells has been doing quite a few things in the community as well. He's helping out, and also with his role with work and that also. How's that all going with this COVID, and how is that balancing it with the fams?
Yeah, it's a bit of a juggling act, because I think the first episode that we were on, we were kind of talking about this as well. And it's kind of a 360. So last lockdown, I actually moved into the service and actually stayed there because wasn't sure about these lockdowns and who was passing on who. Also, to being a 24-hour residential service, we're getting in kids any time of the day. So I guess first things first is making sure that my family was safe first. But I could only do that if I was actually there and not here, because then going backwards and forward probably would have taken its toll. But this time round, whatever processes, whatever things we did either at home or at work, as soon as we kicked into lockdown, we already knew straight away. Bang, we kicked into it, and yeah, we're still chugging along. So all is well this time around.
Oh, nice. Especially when we've been through it. Different now for us at work, because we now from last year, I don't think we had staff that were involved. They had symptoms of COVID. Fast forward this year, we have, I think, nearly almost. Okay. Bye. Good night. Sorry. Always making an intro. These. Yeah. Fast forward this year, we have, I think, from what I heard, 30 plus staff that they've been in close contact with. I think the first person. I think it was the first person that was traveling on public transport. So I think that puts them out, I think, a few days. So they had to get their test and then wait until they got the negative result. But if you can imagine, the first probably week, the lines were like hours long. So in saying that, they were off week for like maybe off work for maybe 7 days, just to wait for that one test. And now because I drive past some of the testing station, it's just dead, nobody there. So I know it's at this time it's best to go and get everything done as soon as you find out you have something or you're in close contact. But now looking, hopefully at level 4 now we know, and hopefully we move down to level 3. Well, that's the big plan, because I'm part of the government. But yeah, so with work being the way it is, like, it's so easy now to catch or have some sort of symptoms, even just a runny nose. And I think we were talking to Swanky about getting the vaccination. Any type of symptom, even if they feel that you look unfit, even if you look unfit, they're not going to take you're not going to get vaccinated. So all those little things, you'll be sent home, waiting. So at the same time, bro, you might look sick full time, and you're not gonna get.
Sorry, but that's the buzzy thing too, is because like last week I had a bit of a cough, and straight away I was like if like I'm always encouraging my staff, if you got a cough, whatever, like take it off, we'll sort it out, da da da. And then I started coughing, and then I was like doing those. Nah, I think it's the aircon. No. And I could see my staff didn't want to say anything to me, but I was like, oh, you know what? Stop being an idiot. So I went and got tested, and it was obviously negative.
Nice.
But you could just tell as soon as you cough, everyone in the supermarket just goes.
Then, bro, I had that same thing too, and this was at the local countdown, New World, and like the mornings are the worst for me because I sneeze a lot because of the cold air, and then it just happened to be when I went and walked in, like I was fine, had my mask on, walking through, and bro, it was one of those like nearly 3 sneezes in a row. It's like, Haja! And it was getting louder and louder, and everybody just stopped and like looked at me, and I was like, fuck. You can't do anything. Just continue. Just keep grabbing the corned beef and everything that's in there. On your 20th corned beef in your trolley.
Man, crazy! It's crazy out there, man, and it's that was part of the reason why I jumped off Insta as well. I thought I needed a bit of a reset because I think you guys touched on it last week about the vaccinations, whether you're going to get vaccinated or not. And then I was just seeing too much of the yes or no, and I didn't want to I didn't want to obviously you follow people for a reason. I didn't want to start getting influenced. Hence the holiday on Insta, but it was one of those things. As I sat down with my partner and we spoke about it, and I think our intentions were to, as I mentioned last week, is the provider for your family, is always stepping for your family. That if I got the vaccination and something happened, then at least I know I was purposely doing it for a reason. It's for the younger ones and obviously for the older parents or grandparents. So, yeah.
That's true, man. That's a good way to put it too. And that was a really good comment he checked last week too. And we're not only doing it for just for the benefit of ourselves, but you can only look around yourself. You got like your grandparents, you got your kids, and if we, like you said, our intentions are pure, but it's never to put your family in harm's way or get sick, COVID, because COVID's everywhere now. And like bro, Swanky, didn't you say that today you had to get away from Insta? The same thing. It kind of worked in with what Will's was saying.
Yeah, that was like exactly what Will said. Like it gets too much, like when you're just scrolling through, it's just like you're just bombarded from the people you follow, your friends and family. So you're like, just gets a bit too much. That's what I was saying to you guys. I need a break.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, bro, each to their own. That's your page. You share whatever you want. I'm not going to tell somebody to pull anything down. However, what it was doing though it was consuming my time. Put the kids down to bed, and then you're sitting there scrolling on your phone, and all you're seeing is people posting up history of this and that and that and that, which is all good. But then you start like have that in your mind, and then I've got to also go and manage people at work. So then, it's what you're seeing on social media, and then it's what you see at the workplace, and then you have your actual workplace saying that people need to be vaccinated without kind of like having that conversation with the staff. It's just it just ends up being too much.
Bro, I like sorry, bro. Just how you touched on the workplace. I hate that they're having to say that to work in New Zealand you now have to be vaccinated. Like I think I had the same talk with one of the staff at work, and how, you shouldn't be forced to do anything. Where's that freedom? Where's that all gone when you're now forced? If you don't get the vaccination, you won't have a job. So that then you have there's no way of you're screwed. Basically, you're screwed. At the end of the day, you're screwed. For you, if you want to take the vaccination, that's fine. But we should be given that option, not to. Now we can't choose because we need to do it. What's your take on it?
Wait,
oh
no, I was gonna say like who's being forced to take that one?
Now there were talks. There were talks through the workplaces. They might come out and say, for this particular job, you need to be vaccinated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing too. I've heard that as well. But I guess part and parcel to that is, I guess, being one of the managers at health service, I'm able to have those conversations where I'm like, do we have to, does my staff need to be forced, or is it something that they have to do? Which the company I work for, they've come out and we've even done surveys that said, it's up to that person if they want to, and they respect whatever it is that they, whatever their insight is on why they don't want to do it, and they don't need to know any of that. So which is cool as well.
That's good. At least they're having an open. There's an open line, especially within your role. You can make
and I guess that's the good thing too about and that's why I think I like my position or the work that I do, because you're not only advocating for the youth, but you're also advocating for the staff that look after the youth. So if you can voice the workers, and what they either go through or anything, because I mean, even I've had conversations with staff where they're almost scared to talk about what they choose, because they're obviously worried that people are either going to call them sheep or call them whatever else.
Oh, no.
So it's just making sure that I have that intentional conversation with them in-house, to say whatever they're feeling or however they feel about it. There's no judgment on us or from me anyway.
Do your workers, if they're at a location of interest, how many days do they get off?
So that's the funny thing, bro. Is that every day, obviously we're getting updated, right? So I've got to make sure that I'm sending it to the team and saying, hey, if you've been to any of those locations, then they already know that you obviously got to show proof that you were at that location. I mean, not so much proof, but surely, anybody's just going to go, oh, I was at that location, I have to take the mandatory 7 days or something and do all that. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, sweet, use your leave. Nah. I'm just like, oh, yeah, sweet. Can you obviously follow the process, get in touch with the helpline and stuff? And then usually...
Show me your app.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing, too, is saying to people, are you scanning in? And everyone's like, yeah. And I was like, but the scanning thing's by the fence, but you've already walked over here and you're doing your phone from here. Fuck.
And not using the camera, but they're not even using the app. They just pretend they're.
Or one of those ones you stand behind the staff room where they go this. What the hell?
That's not the sound, sorry.
But I'm saying to the man, as as soon as something happens or something pops up, then that's when shit's gonna hit the fan. So just scan in, keep everyone safe.
And a big welcome to Mr. Mafioso.
Hello,
brother.
Right, guys, I've been having some real bad technical difficulties. I just got on now.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah. Has it been showing some symptoms? Might need to get it.
The other one actually had coronavirus, so I sent that away. So this is a whole new setup. I'm trying to make it.
Yeah, I see the new setup. Mm-hmm. See, I see, man.
I'm trying to make it work.
Is it that stronger variant?
It's the North Shore one that made it to the south side. Hey.
Boys, I got a comment here from Lance about companies that are forcing vaccination. He said companies should try and employ their people to jobs that might not need them to vaccinate. That can be hard if there aren't any other jobs. Big boss.
Yeah, Chet. What's your take on vaccinations? Are you going for it? Last week we spoke about it, and I think we were just touching on it tonight.
I think for jobs that are frontline, like the airport, I think those are the jobs that will probably be looked at to make it mandatory.
Frontline,
Yeah, the
frontline workers.
and all that. Yeah.
So you would say like medical, nurse, all those.
Yeah.
But then how do you differentiate that? Because then, like for your role, Wills, you're frontline workers for kids. You know, you're keeping them safe. You know, you're now because you have to bring them into a safe place. How does that all go? Do you guys have testing, or how do you prepare for a kid that's going into your bubble?
So there's a lot of things that obviously happen behind the scenes in terms of the organizations that we work with and where the kid is and what needs the kid needs to be placed in the bubble. But there's a pretty good system. So they do a lot of risk assessing. They pretty much know where the kid has been. But the other thing too is just, I guess, if the young person's been at like say at home or wherever they were found, they've been there for more than 2 weeks or 7 days, and the organization comes through, does all the checks, does all the screening. They come through to us. We do screening in that as well, obviously with all the full gear and stuff. And then we just there's a lot that happens behind the scenes.
So that's because that's because it's the second time around, so you're more prepared. But
yeah,
for us on the trains, man, and we spoke about this before the show. Like today, I saw one guy traveling from I think Grafton, went for a ride all the way west, and then he went back again. Like, obviously, I don't know if he's listening to any of the rules, but at this time, we should be really paying attention to these kind of the rules, because we're all abiding by them. And you're gonna have these handful, and then there's always going to be those guys, the bad apples that gonna risk it for the biscuit. But
you guys
before
reckon,
we move on,
you guys reckon New Zealand should do a total lockdown? Like even us train drivers should stay home? But you guys understand, like just civil service, I guess? I don't know. Like, because the locations of interest are like growing, like the list keeps growing, isn't it?
I think the more tests, the more cases. Without the tests, it's not going to show all the cases. But I reckon there's so many more cases out there that haven't come up yet, only because they haven't been tested. I think we need to just prepare. How many times have you seen those movies with like zombie outbreaks and all that, and it's just slowly turning into those movies that you watched, and then you're like, oh man, that's how it is, like in the movie, and then you're sitting there going, oh shit, it's kind of like those days now. It's like everyone's kind of staying indoors. and only coming out if they have to. And then slowly it's like, oh, this is the second lockdown. And the truth is, we just got to get used to it. Not so much, like, oh, wonder what's happening next. Because, bro, this is like the second time. It's the same thing. But then everybody is, when you look at it, I remember the first lockdown was so many less cars on the road. Bro, this lockdown, everyone's just like, I don't care. I'm still going to drive, do what I want, So it's like people are just getting used to it, type of thing, more than anything else. So it's like, bro, there's always going to be the naughty bastards out there just going to do what, I don't care, I mean, I'm one of those guys. Me and Swanky discussed it so many times. Like, I don't want to get the vaccine. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Due to my own beliefs. But, bro, it's just, the whole COVID thing's just bloody crazy, man. I don't know. And then there's all the bloody conspiracy theories that have come out. And everyone's just sitting around like, shit. It's kind of like real, but it's kind of like not.
Oh, man.
And then there's still us who's like, who has to work in it, and it's like, oh man, shit, how do I like combat it and not bring it home or endanger my own family? So it's just, and then my laptop doesn't work, and then I'm late.
It was one of those things too. Like you started going into that routine of 3 o'clock or 1 o'clock was the announcement. So everyone in the household was switched to that, and like. I remember, like, you'd always see that stuff like Muffy was talking about on the Discovery Channel or what channel it was. There was that thing of, the zombies and that coming, and then they had the people, watching the screen, and then it was like they were getting and at night time the dad would, pull out all the stuff. Yeah. But it just seemed like a cycle, eh? Like, you can't do this, and then 3 o'clock, and then after that it was like back to normal. But it's crazy, man.
It's like the purge. It's the purge, boys. The purge.
Yeah. This time around, man. Like the first lockdown, that's what we were doing. Like, when I glued to the TV, the 4 o'clock announcement or the 1 o'clock announcement, like everyone in New Zealand will be like basically glued to that. And then all of a sudden, well, for me this time around, I actually haven't been watching any of it because I knew how last year affected me. I was like, fuck, it's draining to know that all this hangs on the balance of our own, like us. We're going to be stuck in lockdown for the next so-and-so because, if we don't bring down that the cases, we're going to be stuck in lockdown and everything's out of our control. It's just going to be like living, I don't want to say the islands, but it's like staying in the island on a Sunday where there's nothing open and you can't do anything. You just stay home and listen to the family. So fast forward this year, I actually haven't been like watching TV. That's why all my stats have been like probably the best.
On point.
Just off.
Just 0.5 off.
Just off a few cases. But boys, sorry, we've got something we wanted to share. I watched a live earlier today, and it was about a young Pacific Island lady, and she had 3 kids. She's now in, she was in isolation. I think it was Novotel, Ellerslie, and she shared a live. In that live, you could see her very angry, upset. So it starts off with her holding a pizza box, and in that live she's saying, this is my lunch for my kids and myself, and it's already half-eaten pizza. And she's storming out of isolation, and I actually don't know who asked or who knows anyone that's in isolation or been through quarantine, but from what we see on TV, you're only restricted to your room. But what she done is open the door, move out, and then went downstairs, and then she basically was trying to get some information. And when she was downstairs, she was then saying on the live, I tried ringing, I don't want to say this name, but I tried ringing this person. She's saying I've got attitude, but you would do the same thing if you're a parent and you've been giving my kids a half-eaten pizza. What would you guys do? Well, you know, me being a parent, automatically I'm like, fuck, the fuck's going on, you know? Especially having no control of what you do. You're stuck in a room, and the only food you're going to get is from this so-called hotel, and they give you a half-eaten pizza. But can we just roll that, roll the footage of, well, just a snippet from One News, so we don't own that this video.
You just maybe want to eat pizza?
After waiting hours for food, Mikey Sherman has been housed.
Late today, this mother's complaints were answered. She's been moved to another MIQ hotel. It's a far cry from yesterday. She's been in quarantine with her 3 children at Novotel Ellerslie.
Has lunch come yet? My son's asking.
4 p.m. and her children were still waiting for lunch.
She's like crying.
The mother says staff told her they didn't cook enough food.
And still, it's late. So I asked her, why don't you guys feed the families of kids first? And she said, we feed first before we come to you.
That strikes me as being an unusual set of circumstances, and I would be happy to look into whether or not what issues have caused that.
But it got worse.
Pizza, lunch came through. Half eaten.
The COVID patient leaving her room, she confronts staff saying they ignored her complaints.
Your service is I told you to tell you that my kids got given pizza that's already eaten.
The head of MIQ has apologised for the delay regarding the food, but says abuse towards staff is unacceptable and that some are now having to self-isolate because of the incident. After the ordeal, police came knocking.
If I go back down, I'll get arrested. But, like, I mean, if they're going to do that again for my kids, I'm going to do it again. You know what I mean? Like,
if you're right at the centre of it, if you actually have COVID, if you have to go into isolation, and if you have children, you know, I don't think you have to be a clinician or a rocket scientist to figure out that that's going to be very, very stressful.
The stress of COVID-19 and quarantine requiring empathy and understanding. Mikey Sherman, One News.
Nearly 500 Fijians.
So that was she's actually got a live on Facebook that without all the edits, and it's actually, bro, you could see the anger and everything. That's just a snippet of what she actually went through. She, staff didn't want to protest, obviously, due to the rules and the conditions that they have to abide by. And I think one of the staff members actually told her that she had an attitude problem over the phone. So that doesn't make it any better for someone to, and her the way she went about it. I think any parent would have done that, to know that you got 3 kids to provide for, and then to wait for their lunch and to get half-eaten pizza. I think I would have done the same thing and went down and asked for more. What's your take on that, Wills?
Yeah, that's a tricky conversation to have, because I guess anything that involves your kids, you're gonna step out of whatever boundaries, whatever wall they put up, or whatever. So I can understand where she's coming from. Yeah, speechless, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like the Usos. The same. But now those workers are like, they got 3 days off. Because they're exposed.
I think it's what, like, for me, it would be like what Lance has commented there. Mentally, it's a shitstorm in there. Like trying to sit in a room. Wolves will probably know. Like when I used to work at the prison, you unlock prisoners. We had 22-hour lockdown. So like they're only out for 2 hours, and then the rest they're locked up until the next day. So you're opening these people up to people with the worst mindsets because they've just been sitting there, just contemplating and thinking about any little thing that they could do to, and when you're in a helpless situation as she is, where she can't just go up the road and buy food for her kids or whatever, it's just brewing up big time. So, you're not going to say, oh, they asked for it, but bro, can you imagine the parents? It could be a guy, it could have been a guy, like could have been a dad instead. Could have been worse. But yeah, it's always going to be hard on the mental. So, flipping out like that, you got to expect the odd person here or there. But man, just feed the kids at least.
I guess the other thing too is I would also I mean, the flip side to that, I would also feel for the staff members in that hotel, because I don't think it's easy to be one of those workers. They're human as well. So obviously you'd have to go to the top to see why that didn't happen. But also too is, those staff members that are there, they're broadcasted over the news every day about that hotel that they work in. They're probably, family members, when they go home, they're probably questioned, oh, you work in the one of those COVID hotels, did you wash or, So I see it from both ends. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, especially for, again, they're frontline workers and they're having to deal with the actual people that are bringing it into New Zealand. So it's hard to see. Like I'm trying to picture it in the same mindset as Will's, because and I probably have family that are working in these COVID hotels, but at the same time, it shouldn't have got to that point for her to take that action,
Yeah.
And maybe it shouldn't have got that far. And obviously, you're in quarantine, you shouldn't have got out of your room, but something had to happen, and now this is broadcasted all over the media. So, and I think there was a question from Lance was in quarantine, and he was just saying army and police are all in the hallways monitoring most of the time. And if you watch her live, there was no staff in the hallway. She actually went straight to the elevator, went down, and then you couldn't see no one. We could hear someone. I think they were probably just staying away, maybe. But anyway, that's something we wanted to share, because at this time it's trying times for everyone, and I hope I hope everyone learns from it. Not only the staff, but us as well. It's also a time to be a bit kind to each other. So, but in this kind of situation where this lady needed to feed her kids, it's you'd do anything for them.
100%.
Sorry, let's go ahead with Lance's comment.
No, those are just commented. Some of these MIQ facilities are trying to make ends meet too, and running on minimal staff as well. So it's pretty tough for everyone.
100%. Yeah, I mean, just that whole thing. You'd hope that these guys that are working in those hotels are probably getting paid a bit more, or getting some sort of bonus for that, because it's one thing that they still have to provide for their family, but then they have to deal with everything else that comes with it, whether good or bad. Obviously, only the bad things get broadcasted. So, yeah, pretty sad.
Yeah, man, it is a tough one, and I actually and I think a few of her this lady's post, there were people reaching out and saying, can we bring in food or anything? But apparently, for some reason, you can't bring in cooked food. They have to do shopping, and I think must have to get cleared. Yeah. So at the moment, I think that's about a couple hours back. She said she's getting moved, and at the same time, she's got food for the kids. So I think the main point was just getting food to her and her kids. So
yeah,
hopefully that's all that needs to be done.
Yeah, but that definitely needs to be. They definitely need to hit
Yeah.
the top. You know, like that shit shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, bro, hard. It took her, and she also asked in her live to go out for exercise, to take her kids out of the room. You know, that cabin fever. If you're locked in a room for, you know, a certain amount of days, like Muffy said, shit, that one chance you're gonna have, it should, you know, hopefully help your mental state. But not letting them out, not giving them food, so it's just gonna keep adding, and then now the Prime Minister's knocking at your door.
You would think too, like that. You know how I was talking about like processes and stuff from last year to kind of being ready for this year. You would think that those some of those facilities would be more child friendly. Maybe have something. Have something. I mean, I get it. You can't cater to every person, but you know, if we're talking about you know, the mental health side of things, you know, that also starts with the kids as well. So
yeah, like have PS5s in every room, man.
Hey, if it has to be, it has to be.
Because you know, like for kids, there's only so much toys they can play with until their mind wanders off and they're wanting to get out, breaking down doors and breaking windows. Well, I think that's just my kids, but you know, but that's just the way kids are gonna be, you know. And you can try and prepare them for a 2-week quarantine, but it never goes to plan with kids, you know, especially with food. But back to the brothers here. How we all doing during this lockdown anyway? Muffy.
I'm good, eh? I'm good. I've had a bit of time off work as well, so I've missed the show last week. But I tell you what, boys, I've been spending a lot more time with the missus, like quality time with the missus, eh?
Okay.
There's been no DJing on the weekends, so there's just mentally
things, eh?
You know, I love staying home, but mentally I'm good.
That's good to hear.
Hasn't been perfect, but considering what's going around and the circumstances we have to deal with, I'm pretty good. So yeah, we should be good at it by now anyway. It's a second lockdown. All we're missing is our takeaways. It's a mental thing. It shouldn't be as hard as some people are making it out to be. But yeah, not everybody's the same, so you gotta accept how everybody kind of deals with it in their own way. But my house is good. I had my son home as well, so he stayed a couple of days. We've done all our tests and stuff. We're all negative, so not getting the. Me and Swanky always talk about it. Not gonna get that vaccine just yet. Probably when they force us to do it work-wise, then we'll probably end up doing it. But yeah, I mean, my missus went for it. She lined up, and she's like, "Are you gonna come?" I said, "No, I'm not coming. I'm not keen on getting that." Got to the point where she went lined up. Just before it was her turn, she just jumped out of the queue. She kind of felt like, "Oh, it's not right for me too." Like, not at this time anyway. So, yeah, everybody kind of has their own. Yeah, so yeah, I might not have helped her be confident about it, but still, you know, that's my decision. So
yeah,
it's up to you. It's up to you, mate.
It's up to you, mate.
Nah,
from
yeah,
last
mentally,
season,
my
any
house is
tips? Any
Okay.
tips, mafioso?
Man, I think
Not the
I'm a
tip,
bit of
but
I'm a bit ahead of my time. Like, I feel like fuck, bring any lockdown on, bro. I'm ready, Like, I'm a homebody. Like, being a homebody automatically sets you up, bro, for like any kind of you have to stay home.
but if you've been to Muffy's, like his home is actually set out like you could live in any part of his house and still enjoy like the lockdown. Like it's set up to the like it's mean. Like I envy the setup of his house.
Yeah,
It's so good that you know it's the flow and like you said, it's being at home. It's because he's made his home a palace for him to rock the purge.
Bro, I'll tell you what. My missus is like, "Oh, I'm bored," and I'm like, "I'm not." And I'm like, she's like, "Let's go for a walk or something." I said, "Yeah, okay, but bro, after that walk, you're gonna be bored again. Like, it's not about me entertaining you. You know, that's we're gonna argue. Like, if that's what you're expecting, don't put it on me to entertain you. Like for me, like I got everything I could want or need to stay home. There's no need for me to want to leave the house, and I've been like that for a while. So, like I said, any lockdown that comes, I'm all for it because I don't really need to go anywhere or do anything. You know, I'm more set up at home. And saying that, I feel for those people who aren't used to being home or used to going out and catching up with friends and stuff. Looks like you're gonna have to learn how to read a book again, or like take up, new hobbies at home. Because, yeah, man, don't argue with me if you can't entertain yourself.
The karaoke machine is there.
We can only do so much. We're still males, only males we are, not something spectacular.
How about you, Wills?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I guess I owe all that credit to my wife because she pretty much holds it down while I'm able to do what I do. And then I think it just made it even worse and actually lockdown setting in is that I'm actually at home. She probably doesn't like it because we've only got 2 kids, but I end up being the 3rd kid when the 2 kids go get a snack. Oh, can I have a snack too? So there's always 3 snacks, 3 lunches. Oh, mate. But other than that, bro, the kids are holding it down. Wife's holding it down, and yeah, we're good, man. Just hopefully, yeah, we can drop down on the cases.
Fingers crossed.
Swanky, how's life at home? How's the kids?
Bro, I'm all good. I'm all good.
He's a busy man. We've been giving him one of his toes.
Yeah, I'm like Mafia. I'm happy at home. I'm happiest at home. So, but the kids in there, yeah, just an hour of schoolwork, and then they're good too. They just, I guess we're all introverts. We all just like to stay home. I know everything's good, man.
Nice.
Muffy,
So we launched like a new gaming. So like if you game, right? They have these clan thingies, and it's like just the whole boys get together, make a clan, and then you game together and all that. So we've just launched our own little one with me, Swanky, and the boys that we play with. You know, it just adds to that whole whatever you're already doing. Just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And we kind of like made it more like not legit, but you now have a guy, a team of lads doing it together. Hey, so it's like, yeah. I feel like I'm 12 again.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, man, it's good.
and I think the good part about this is that during this time when you need a bit of excitement, to tie you over, this extra thing for the brothers here. And we're gonna do a shout out to Outcast Gaming. So that's the crew that's the boys have been throwing up. So if you're keen or following or streaming, head over to their Twitch page or Instagram, and there you go, Outcast Gaming. I didn't make the cut.
Man.
We're taking over, man. We're taking over.
I'm still on PS2.
Oh,
Oh, man, it's right there.
oh.
Yeah. And I knew this was gonna come, so you really gotta check. You gotta add in the brothers. They've been doing the hard mahi. And just a question from the chat: How does one join this team? Asking for a friend.
If you can pull up and chop us off for 2K, man, you're lucky.
If you can hide in the trees on Fortnite and
Tell do you need a PS5?
I think everyone but one of us.
But you don't need one to join us.
But yeah,
if you have a Switch, Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, out the window.
What if you're a fan? What if you're a fan? How do we join your team? Or how do we?
Bro, we've had those questions already, Swinky.
Yeah, some people coming.
I know it sounds real childish, and it sounds like, man, these guys are little kids, man. But hey, man, it's a time to be a kid again. It's a time to be a kid again. Man. The world's telling you, go back and be a kid. We're gonna put you in the house for 4 weeks
for homebodies.
Homebodies.
No, it's good. It's like the podcast. Like we it's a space, like a space to chat with the boys, catch up, because some of the boys are from Oz. So everyone's. It's like a space for us to game and catch up, chat, or just catch up and see what's going in their neck of the woods.
Nice.
Mentally,
What were you gonna say, Wills? I thought you had something that you wanted to.
No, I was just asked, can I prospect? No, that's good. Then.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
Oh no, I was just saying that it's cool that like Swinky was saying, that you guys are creating these little these spaces and doing it whilst at home, and also doing it with those overseas. That's cool that find some sort of way of connecting with people.
I've seen obviously. First of all, obviously, me and Swinky are the oldest in the team. So when things, when games get tough and hard, it's always good to see the younger guys mentally step up, act older, say, take the reins and bro, do this, we'll do this, work things as a team. And you're seeing the maturity of these real younger guys come out, and it's like, oh, that's cool. And then me and Swanky, we just step back and just let them run the show. But it's mentally, it's. I think how many times have I said you girls meet up at a cafe, have coffee, talk shit. We meet up on the game. We don't spend money. We don't waste money on a coffee. We can do this for hours. And then exactly where we are, we're in front of the TV.
Hey, man.
And if you didn't know, they're talking about gaming, you would think these guys are in a sports team, mate.
Yeah, we're acting like we're LeBron James.
PS5 would have been like, man, these guys are mean sports players. On the game.
But real thing, real talk. Esports is a real thing, bro. I've seen it's people playing games these days, getting paid to play it. Parents have to understand there's no more pause button when you play, live online and stuff. It's just a whole new level of gaming, and it's probably why it's so addictive. And you can just, man, I can tell you now, we'll sit around Swanky for an hour before we even start our first game, and everyone's just talking shit. Everyone's waiting for the third guy to join or the fifth guy to join. But it's all mentally, man. It's just crazy. Yeah, it's Swanky. Yeah. And then you meet new people as well, and you just oh no, he's not as good. You know, oh no, he's better. So
Sign him up.
Yeah, it's always like a competition, or it's always like challenging for you. So it's a lot more to it than just playing video games these days.
When's the drafts? Because I want to put my name forward for the drafts.
Oh no, PlayStation 3 doesn't count also.
It's tonight after the show.
Hey man. and for you, Wills, what's your kind of reset? How do you get away from work, or what's your reset
So
button? Sorry.
To be honest, I'm still trying to find that reset. Every day I try and find that reset, because there's always either a goal I'm trying to hit, or I know it's not sustainable, long term wise. But I'd be lying if I said, I come home and I read a book and listen to music, because that's probably what people do. But to be honest, bro, I'm still going 150% from like when we last worked together, Terry. So I still have to find that balance, and I think this lockdown has kind of been a blessing in disguise, because it's allowed work to kind of slow down a bit, and then it's kind of allowed me to kind of be at home but be present,
Nice.
But also to try and look at what my reset is going to be.
I was going to ask that, with lockdown, has work slowed right down because all the naughty kids are staying at home?
Yeah, they're not staying at home though. No, there's just not that much traffic coming through, because obviously they need to be screened and they need to do all of these either tested or isolated or whatnot. So that's what I mean by like slowing down. If we've got a kid, we'll know like a day in advance whether we're going to get them, whether they're tested, whether they've been at any locations. Then we do our own in-house check-in as well. So yeah.
Oh, so these are not these surprises anymore.
No, well, that's the thing with yeah. I mean, back then, Terry, when we were there, we were getting surprises. It was Kinder Surprise. The kid turned up, it's a different name, but they were just trying to place the kid. I was like, but now, and all of that stuff I took from when we first worked, and started putting in processes to make it easier for my staff. So then it makes it easier for me to manage the staff, because I mean, ideally back then I would say, oh, you need a clone 10 of me to have the best service. But then it's kind of stepping out of that mindset and saying, well, I need to put a process in place that's manageable for the staff that I'm going to kind of teach.
Is there space now? Is there space? Or is there still like a fight for space for the kids? Like if they're being housed?
Yeah, so we've got some spaces there. We're keeping. Obviously, we had one that just came in, so we've got to also just check that you don't get symptoms a couple of days whilst in the bubble. So we kind of leave the other rooms kind of separate and just keep whoever's in the bubble at the moment.
And obviously, you spoke about this before, and you got the processes in place. Has there been any like changes or having to adapt along the way this time around, or has it been just smooth sailing throughout work?
Yeah, I think it's smooth sailing, because we're keeping to our guns, and we're not just changing things just because you hear this more dangerous variant or it's on this or that. I guess as long as you got that process and you're adapting within house instead of externally, it's always going to work for your house.
And before we go on to the next part, how's looking back from last year, now we're in the second lockdown again, from what we've been saying. What's your plans now for the future, for yourself and for your family? Because we forgot to ask this the last time. And yeah, you have, like you said, I know, you've always been that person to keep moving along and chasing your goals. You've always had something in front of you that you wanted to reach, and testament to yourself and how you've been going throughout your career. It's really made a change for kids, but for yourself now. Sorry, you also do a lot of getting away with the brothers. You and your few of the boys go away for a particular weekend, and you guys spend. Would that be something that you guys do to relax, or is that just catch up with the boys and the same thing, like how Muffy and Swanky do their peers playing sports?
Yeah, that's that's something annually that we've always done with the boys. But I'm not too sure whether that is a reset. Maybe in some of the boys' captions, it's a reset, but it's the same banter that you have with them every day, and you're probably with the same guys like the weekend before. But actually, going away where nobody can jump in their car and just drive home, it adds a different level to the brotherhood. But also too is I guess, as we know, most times you don't know what somebody's going through. But having cooking a meal or whatever else, they tend to then start asking you for advice for something, or it just kind of allows and gives them that platform, like anywhere else, to just start talking about something or something that we've heard. That's also a good spot to kind of then go, hey, let's just have an open conversation here and just get it through, which has been awesome.
Yeah, I've been seeing the MasterChef cooks as well. Man, the food there has been amazing, mate.
So that was the funniest one, because we were like, obviously, like, cooking up a storm. Obviously, we collect the money, everybody puts in, and everybody just says, yeah, keen. But half of those boys in that group don't even know how to cook a rice. With a rice cooker. So, but again, for me too, I mean, I love cooking, and a couple of the other older boys, we love cooking. So if we're able to cook for
those of you guys don't know, was the man at cooking. I never had to cook while I was on duty.
Oh, if you've been in the struggle, man, you know how to use 100 kg mince and feed probably 20 people breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then, bro, it's all good.
Nice.
Are you hinting a trip there, Tessa?
Might have to plan an annual trip. You got to give me 5 years in advance. You got to give me 5 years in advance first.
I think he's hinting to get somewhere warm because he's got a singlet on, eh? Going on there, Terry.
Got the heater on. It's a bit hot. But so we've come to that part of the show where we try and give advice out or something that we've learned from the week, and hopefully with what we're trying to give out would hopefully help someone out there. Yeah, but we'll start with Swanky.
Sure, boys. Hey, Sean Wills. Thank you for jumping on tonight. If the people don't know, was our first guest, first victim.
He's an OG. He's an OG.
Well, thank you for taking the time. I think this week we'll be reach out, checking in on your friends of loved ones, video call, whatever. chicken. These are tough times for the extroverts. Extrovert? But people would like to go outside. Not for the homebodies. But just chicken. Yeah, just ask how they're doing. You know, can't ask them now for a feed because lockdown 4. But that phone call, that phone call might be a real sunshine to someone. Check in, family, loved ones. Yeah, just do it. Just check in. That's it for me, boys.
Shuttles.
Oh, Swanky.
Muffy.
For me, as much as I don't like going outdoors, the advice I'll leave for everybody, especially as islanders who are stuck in lockdown, get off your ass, get outside, go for a walk. I know you don't like it. It'll help you not only physically but mentally. Get some fresh air in your nostrils. Enjoy a little conversation with whoever you're walking with. Take the kids out. Just get 30 minutes in, 20 minutes in, and get back home. Could be a game changer at home. Could be a little break you need from being locked up at home. Could be the answer, or could be the prevention of your next argument. So yeah, I'm taking that leaf out of the missus' telling me what to do. So I'm passing it on. Do it. Get it done, fam.
Yes.
It'll do wonders. Whatever it is, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Walking and talking. Walk the dogs. Talk to the dogs. Yeah, love it, man. But for me,
nice.
Yeah, that's it's a mental game, but sometimes the physical side of it can add a bit of a help to what we need.
Nice.
So yeah.
So Muffy.
Good to see you again, Ross. Good to see you again, also.
Yeah, shout out to
feel free to join. Feel free to join when I can't make it.
Yeah, we again. I think I'm just going to talk on my own experiences, and this actually happened in the last maybe week or so. And similar to what Muffy was saying is, the communication with especially with me and my partner. This week, I think I might have been getting on her last nerve, and I think it all boiled up 2 days ago. And she, said to me, "Hey, do you want your space? Because I think you're not talking to me properly, or you're not yourself." And I don't want to blame the lockdown, but for me, straight away, I think I got my wall went up, and I just got on the defensive mode. I was like, no, there's no, But when I really sat down and had a thought about it, and I probably was being a bit of an asshole to her, and I had to really think about. She's been at home, looking after the kids throughout this lockdown, and I've been going to work. So I wasn't thinking about it. It didn't even cross my mind. And then yet, when I have the times at home, when I do come home from work or before work, like I'm focused on something else, and when little things would like tip me off, and I'll get angry about it, and it shouldn't be something that I should get angry about. And I was getting angry, like little things that, and it's something that I could control, which is me just being an asshole. So, I think I'm actually still learning, and I think I say that like 100 times, and in our previous episodes that I'm still learning, and I think what it came down to, and for me, it was just the communication. I wasn't giving her that respect, giving my wife that respect throughout this lockdown, knowing that she's doing all the hard work and I'm doing jack shit. I'm just going to work, coming back, and we all know how hard it is to be a driver. It's a bloody hard job sitting down, eh? But you know, it really hit me yesterday when she messaged and said, "Look, you know, you're not yourself. You're not yourself. Do you need time to just go away or do whatever?" And then you know, I already thought about it. I was like, "Fuck, this is bullshit," you know. But I don't know if the boys have gone through something like that. But yeah, I had to really think about it. It was basically my fault. I had to really think and see it from her point of view, which I wasn't for that last, you know, I think from throughout the lockdown. She's been good, you know, she's been looking after our kids, preparing our food. So what more could I have given her? Just that little bit of communication. I think that's what I'm trying to share. And being open. Don't be like me. Don't throw up that wall straight away and be on the defensive mode and say nah, it's all you, when you kind of have to take that step back. And yeah, that's me. That's just, I needed to sort it out. I needed to look at how I was doing stuff or how I was approaching it and adjust. So I'm relearning all from all this negative shit I've been saying at home. Yeah. Over to you, Will.
Nice house.
Yeah. There's probably two things. One thing is just touching on what Terry said. I'm probably in the same boat as well. I was probably checked from my wife probably like 2 days ago, and I did the same thing. I was like, hey, the way I was speaking, and I guess I reflected on, like, I go to work, I put in all my energy looking after other people's kids. They can't look after their kids, you know. And then my wife's at home looking after our kids, you know. And who am I to come home and I don't think I do it intentionally. I think I just do it, and it just like happens. So it was good that she checked me on that. So today I kind of reflected on that. I was like, okay, you know, I've got to give her time. So just started doing the small things, man. Like, got up in the morning. I thought, you know, should I have a sleep in? Nah, I got up, made her a coffee, made her some breakfast. And it's not something that, because if you've been together for a long time, you would think, oh, then tomorrow you're going to go back to the normal. But it's just remembering, checking yourself and understanding. So, yeah, we're good. And I think the other thing too, the second thing that I've got is, one thing I heard is, you know, we hear people say, talk about planting seeds in young people. And I think for that, it's about, it all falls on the capabilities of the gardener. If the gardener is using the right stuff, then obviously, you know, like a flower, everything flourishes. If it doesn't, then obviously it's a reset for that. So just something to take away.
Nice. Thank you.
Nice. It's always coming up with these motivational. Even when I used to leave work, the man would know how to, you know, plant their seed in my head.
Tomorrow.
And the seed was, don't be an idiot. I'm trying to save your job. I'm trying to save your job. These people are here to fire you.
Oh, it's got a piece from Halineus.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Haline wants to share, give the same energy, love, and passion you give your jobs to your family, and know what is left over after the day is done, even though you're tired.
Well said, also.
Nice.
100%. And that takes, you know, I'm 21 and I'm still, you know.
And to anyone out there who's listening,
still learning.
Yes.
To anyone out there who's listening and thinking we're a bunch of pussies, we're not. This is what it's like to be grown and real, and fucking know when you're wrong, know when you're right.
Hey,
you know, give credit to
listen and learn, man.
It's all about manning up, and this is the real man up. You know, it's hard.
Yeah,
hey Terry, it's hard as like
I
should have brought it up because I got checked too last week for mum's. But it is what it is. But you know, you could get checked and then not do anything about it, or you could get checked and get up and make that coffee that Wills did. So thank you, brothers. That's
hey,
you guys are real ones.
Yes.
Because you guys broke the wall down and you guys shared that with us. So
yeah,
it's on the real voice.
And if you like, we've got people in the chat that's always like telling us, sending their love and sending out everything that they have, which is good to see. You know, we love that. We love that, and it only makes it easier. It only makes it easier for us to let down our wall and share. So without having you guys, you know, comment in the chat, it'll be just us. Yeah, going hard, going handy.
Hey,
so thank you to the chat. Wills will be with us next week again. Without them even knowing, we love to do that. But
hey,
thank you, Wills. Thank you.
Next week will be a good one. Next week we're catching up with one of the infamous content creators out there now.
Yeah, he's doing the mahi.
Is that for next week?
The pies.
Yeah. Familiar with Timprovise with the bakery runs?
Oh, yes.
And he's got a podcast as well. Yeah, we got him.
Nice.
He's joining us next week, so might be a crack-up show.
That's a big show.
Should be a good one. But anyway, thank you, team. Thank you to the chat. I'm Teza.
I'm sorry, can a second?
Of you, so.
And Wills.
Take it
For the Boys podcast, let's go.
The Boys.